Number 7. Kylie Jenner Challenge. In 2015, a trend called the #Kylie Jenner Challenge emerged on social media, in which teenagers tried to get media personality Kylie Jenner's signature pout. To that end, they sucked on shot glasses and water bottles, often with disastrous results. They placed their mouths over the openings and then sucked the air out, until the resulting vacuum increased blood circulation in their lips, thus causing them to swell. In the aftermath, countless participants shared photos on social media of their bruised and battered lips, while also expressing their disappointment at how the challenge had left them. Icelandic 18-year-old Irja Alsbolvindottir posted the aftermath of her lip-enhancing experiment as a warning to others looking to take part in it. She reported that the experience had been very, very painful and that her lips had turned blue. Health experts warned would-be participants that they'd be damaging the tissue, risking bruising, tearing, infection, and loss of sensation. Jenner responded to the challenge by encouraging young people to be themselves and not to emulate her look. In the past, Jenner, who would become the most followed woman on Instagram, had denied having had cosmetic work. She later admitted that her plump lips had been the result of fillers, which essentially meant that numerous teens had inadvertently hurt themselves while pursuing a feature that had been artificially enhanced. Number 6. Punch for Punch Challenge. In June of 2014, a father of 2 from England died from a single blow to the chest after challenging a friend to a game of punch for punch, which they'd reportedly intended to record and post online. The challenge, variants of which have also spread on social media, involves people taking turns hitting each other, usually in the same spot, until one of them yields. 23-year-old Tommy Main was at a party in southeast London with Desmond Bartley, aged 31. The two men had known each other for over a decade. Bartley, who trained in Muay Thai fighting techniques, was initially reluctant to accept Main's challenge but eventually agreed. Main hit him twice, with only one punch connected and landed on Bartley's shoulder. When the latter had a go, he jabbed the other man in the upper side of the chest. Main reportedly laughed and said, "That's a good one," but moments later collapsed on the ground. Bartley recalled that he'd started turning blue and he, helped by other partygoers, tended to him until the emergency services arrived at the scene and took him to the hospital. Bartley's blow had essentially stopped Main's heart and he was later pronounced dead. A coroner would also report that he had marijuana and cocaine in his system, but listed cardiac arrest from blunt force trauma as the main cause of death. Bartley maintained that he'd never meant to kill him and there was no hint of prior conflict between the two men. He was charged with manslaughter but eventually cleared. Number 5. No Lacking Challenge victim. In January of 2020, a 21-year-old man from Memphis accidentally shot his friend in the head as they were taking part in a dangerous viral trend called the No Lacking Challenge. According to Urban Dictionary, to be caught lacking is to be found unprepared and without a weapon to defend oneself. The challenge, which usually involves 2 friends, unfolds with one brandishing a firearm and the other responding by displaying a weapon of their own, proving they're ready to fire back if needed. The challenge never involves pulling the trigger, although there have been a number of incidents in which it went horribly wrong. Such was the case at E's 24-Hour Cafe, an establishment found east of downtown Memphis. Sherman Lackland and his friend, only described as being in his late teens, were reportedly enacting their version of the challenge. As Lackland produced his .40 caliber gun, he accidentally shot the teenager in the right side of the head. Fortunately, a doctor was in the cafe at the time and tended to the victim before paramedics arrived at the scene. The teen was in critical condition, as he'd suffered swelling and bleeding in his brain, but ultimately survived. According to the Memphis Police Department, Lackland admitted that they'd been playing the game and faced charges of aggravated assault, reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, and unlawful possession of a handgun. Number 4. Dry Scoop Challenge. An exotic dancer and OnlyFans star almost died in April of 2021 after attempting a challenge popularized on social media platforms. 20-year-old Brittany Portillo had watched bodybuilders and other fitness influencers on TikTok perform the Dry Scooping Challenge, which involved swallowing tablespoons of powdery, pre-workout, non-FDA regulated substances with a high concentration of caffeine. The substances, normally ingested with water, were meant to enhance focus and stamina during workouts. Portillo decided to try the challenge upon being offered a scoop of Redcon 1 Total War powder by a bodybuilder at her gym. She immediately regretted dumping the undiluted powder down her throat, as she initially felt like she couldn't breathe before coughing profusely. Once that episode subsided, The young woman carried on with her leg day workout. She didn't experience the expected energy boost and instead felt nauseous and itchy all over her body, while also sweating profusely. A few hours later, as Portillo was getting ready to dance at the club where she worked, her chest felt heavy and she experienced intense pain in the left side of her body. The club owner consequently called 911. Paramedics arrived at the scene and, at first, because of her age and profession, assumed Portillo was having a panic attack because she was about to take her clothes off in front of strangers. Portillo told them she didn't have any anxiety about dancing, which she'd been doing for over a year, and they realized something more serious was at play. She was rushed to the hospital where doctors told her she'd suffered a heart attack from a caffeine overdose triggered by the powder. Looking back on the incident, she remembered, "I just felt so stupid for doing that dumb challenge and ended up in a hospital bed." Fortunately, she rapidly recovered and was released the following day. Number 3. Silhouette Challenge. The Silhouette Challenge on TikTok started in early 2021 and was initially characterized as a body positivity movement that enabled users, predominantly women, to show off their silhouettes in sensual poses without revealing too much. It was typically a combination of 2 videos. The first was set to Paul Anka's 1959 song "Put Your Head on My Shoulder" and show the participant clothed before transitioning to the second video with the audio changing to Doja Cat's "Streets." In the latter part, the participant would wear lingerie or nothing at all in some cases while applying a red shady filter. It hid their bodies and accentuated their silhouettes as they danced and struck poses in a doorway. The challenge grew in popularity with a number of celebrities such as Iggy Azalea, Cardi B and Doja Cat herself joining in as well. The trend began to dissipate as users on Twitter, Reddit and elsewhere began posting tutorials on how to remove the red filter. This would enable others to see the women's nude or almost nude bodies without their consent, which many described as a blatant violation of their privacy. In an attempt to counteract those who sought to have the filter removed were photographers and videographers who posted warnings on multiple social media platforms. They informed participants in the Silhouette Challenge who believed that the filter would hide their bodies that their videos could easily be reverted to their original state. Number 2. Milk Crate Challenge. The Milk Crate Challenge went viral in August of 2021, predominantly on TikTok, and it involved participants climbing milk crates stacked in a podium-like structure, with both sides functioning as stairs. The challenge was climbing to the top of the crates and down the other side without falling or destabilizing the structure. It received criticism from health professionals, and TikTok reported that it would eliminate searches and videos with the hashtag in accordance with its guidelines that prohibit content glorifying dangerous acts. Maintaining one's balance on the milk crates becomes progressively more difficult the higher they get, and therein lay the risks. Some of the injuries to have been reported following falls include dislocated shoulders, broken wrists, meniscus and ACL tears, and even damage to the spinal cord. While dangerous enough in its essence, a milk crate challenge filmed by a group in Shreveport, Louisiana went horrifically wrong when it was caught in the crossfire of a drive-by shooting. Cell phone video of the incident started circulating online, depicting a man standing atop the crates, attempting to complete the challenge. Gunshots then ring out with those in the group running for cover, and one man repeatedly yelling, "Get my gun!" 34-year-old Lazarus Thomas was killed in the shootout, while Paris King, aged 19, was found dead from a gunshot wound in the back seat of a vehicle. The police reported that the group participating in the Milk Crate Challenge hadn't been the targets of what had been an alleged street gang dispute. Number 1. Benadryl Challenge. The Benadryl Challenge began circulating in 2020 and spread on social media, predominantly on TikTok, and involved deliberately consuming a high amount of diphenhydramine, antihistamine medication usually sold in the US under the brand name Benadryl. If taken in prescribed doses, it's relatively innocuous, with the most common side effect being drowsiness. However, if the allergy medication is abused, it can result in various health complications including confusion, delirium, and hallucinations. It was the latter effect that participants would document while intentionally overdosing. In doing so, they also risked hypothermia and convulsions, potentially leading up to coma and death. The psychoactive effect at high dosages is actually a symptom of anticholinogenic poisoning, which affects organs throughout the body, including the heart and the brain. In May of 2020, a medical facility in Fort Worth, Texas, reported that 3 teenagers had been hospitalized with diphenhydramine poisoning. One of them had reportedly taken 14 tablets in the middle of the night on Memorial Day. The facility stated that the teens had gotten the idea for Benadryl tripping from TikTok. Then in August of that same year, Oklahoma high school student KYLIE Phillips died from an overdose while taking part in the challenge. Her great aunt, in a since deleted Facebook post, warned others and wrote, "This needs to stop taking our kids or putting them in the hospital." About a month following the tragic incident, the Food and Drug Administration agency released a formal statement advising medical professionals on the challenge's dangers and prevalence. Thanks for watching. Would you rather play punch for punch with a pro heavyweight boxer, or attempt the milk crate challenge with broken glass spread out on either side of the crate structure? Let us know in the comments section below.